Coming up on this episode of NPS Now, middle schoolers enjoyed robotics during Computer Science Week. Legislators witnessed teaching and learning up close in our schools. And Terrellton Elementary celebrated their Purple Star designation. Later in the show, we'll learn more about the READ 14.2 initiative. Plus, Steve Sutmiller with sports. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. While coding is a common sight in any of our schools, there's an even greater emphasis on it during the first week of December. Here's the story.
Middle school students around the district observed International Computer Science Education Week by working with robots and different kinds of coding. At Northside Middle, students were building robots and writing code for them, along with their 3D printer.
Today in class they are learning how to 3D print, and they are actually learning code that they can print with a 3D printer, and I have some students using code to program robots. Some of the students are more advanced. The learning curve is different for each one, so as they progress, some of the students that are advanced actually move on and help the other ones that are struggling a little bit.
Right now we're working on coding to make snowflakes, which I was talking about. Normally we just work on this stuff, but since it's the week of code, we were working on that. It was a nice change of pace. It gave us a good break from this, and I feel like everyone was excited to try something different. And it's fun to be able to print out what you make on the computer and actually have it in your hand.
Over at Rosemont, students worked with all kinds of robots, but focused primarily on programming their Lego robots to perform very specific commands. They competed against one another to see who could get their robot to execute the tasks the fastest.
They're having fun. A lot of times they don't really realize that they're learning because they are having fun as they're going through. They look at it as a game, and it just keeps making them want to go to the next step, the next level.
It's super fun, and everything that we do in here, it seems like we're playing, but we're actually learning at the same time. So that's what I really like about it, because you can have fun and learn at the same time.
Although they're having fun, these students are learning valuable skills that will help them not only with their education, but with future careers.
We have to prepare our students for today's careers and tomorrow's careers that are under consideration and not here yet. And if we don't do it this way and create that relevance between what they are learning and how they apply it, then our students will be behind the curve. So this is critically important.
This is helping me be literate with technology. A year ago, I wasn't as literate with technology as I am now, but now I know how to code, I know how to speak their language. So yeah, it will help me a lot. I think it's really cool because at my other schools, we didn't really have the technology and the money to do this, but since I'm here, it feels amazing.
In recognition of Take Your Legislator to School Day, the Norfolk Public School Board invited lawmakers from federal, state, and local governments to visit schools in the district and attend a luncheon to discuss legislative matters. The group began the morning with a tour of Norfolk Technical Center before boarding buses and heading to other schools, including Lake Taylor High School and Larry Moore Elementary. The day was designed to build a rapport with legislators and show them firsthand what teaching and learning looks like in our schools every day.
Well, I think this goes along with our relationship building with the local level and our state delegates, that they understand when we're having these conversations, they can come here and actually see what we're talking about, see our need, and also see the many successes that are going on in our schools and things that we should be proud of.
I think a lot of times you hear so many things in the paper, news, stories about what's happening in our public schools, but honestly there's nothing like being in and watching and walking through the hallways and interacting with our students and our teachers and our staff members to really see what public education is and how we're offering it, and also in how they can be a better partner and how we can offer better things to make sure that we have the best educational experience for our students.
Well, what I've seen, a lot of dedicated professionals doing a great job with limited resources. And so that's a issue that's come under a lot of discussion lately in Richmond, particularly our infrastructure about schools and what we need to do. a lot of unfulfilled needs across the Commonwealth, particularly in the city of Norfolk. So interesting to see how they really are doing a great job, again, with limited resources.
I think it was fantastic. To see the students in their element is wonderful for me, and it takes me back to when I was in high school, and I wish I could trade places with them, but unfortunately now I can have a little bit of an impact at the state level, and we'll do all that we can to make sure that Norfolk Public Schools are getting everything that they need.
Students, staff, and community members celebrated Terrellton Elementary's Purple Star designation at a special ceremony in December. During the assembly, military-connected students were recognized for their artwork and essays about their experiences, and there were also musical performances. The designation, which was given to only 59 schools across the state, is awarded to schools who demonstrate a major commitment to their military-connected students.
Terrellton won this award because of the Welcome Club. I think that the Welcome Club, the activities that they displayed, the kind of support that was evident that the kids were giving one another really stood out. And it serves as a model for other schools. If you really want to win the Purple Star designation for your schools in the coming years, you're going to have to step it up a notch and get your kids to support one another the way the Tigers do here at Terrellton.
It was a great feeling of accomplishment, and it really is a culmination of a lot of efforts that we've had here at the school to make sure that our military families feel supported, and it's a visible sign and seal, if you will, on that commitment that we have, that we can show parents that we really are a military supportive school and community here at Terrellton.
It means a lot because we work very hard to support our military-connected students, and to have that recognized it makes me proud. It makes me proud that our hard work is recognized, the staff and the students and everybody, and that we're doing something really for our military-connected kids who give so much and their families, and we really love supporting them. It's important to us.
The Office of Academic Rigor had a great turnout for their parent night at Granby High School. This valuable workshop provided an overview of the programs and services offered to gifted students, and a gallery walk with a variety of tables, each featuring a different topic.
It had been a while since the Office of Academic Rigor had done a parent workshop, so we just wanted to invite the parents out to meet some of the gifted resource teachers and to give them more information about different topics related to gifted education. We've had a good turnout, especially for this time of year.
Our son is has been designated as a gifted student, and I wanted to find out if we were challenging him in every way that we could. We wanted to get a head start on the SAT. I wanted to get some SAT and ACT information tonight. Even though he's only in the 9th grade, it's never too soon to start working on these things.
I definitely found a lot of information. It has great programs that weren't offered when I was here, so they have new programs, a lot of good collegiate prep programs, a lot of stuff on how parents can help students at home, and we can further our kids' education. Really good.
I found a lot of great information. I was actually pleasantly surprised. There were some interesting tables about different things that we deal with our children, about perfectionism, about how the brain is shaped, and so that was really nice, and also learned about some resources and programming. So it's been a good night. I'm glad I came out.
If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio, we're going to talk a little bit about football, and we have the head coach from Maury High School, Doree McCain. Welcome.
Thank you.
And he's brought one of his senior football players, Mark Hill. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get right into it. Coach, you had a heck of a season. So talk a little bit about the season and kind of go from there.
First off, I want to just thank my coaches, my players, my parents, the community, boosters, the Maury family, the faculty and the staff. Tremendous support. Way better support than I expected. And it first started when I first got there, and then just going off of last season, that playoff loss, I think a lot of guys figured out that we can be pretty good, and the fact that I feel like these guys believed in what myself and the coaches were doing that early just made it even easier to put these guys to work. Off season was fun. It was hard. Main focus was in the classroom during the off season. So a lot of guys started to understand, like, I'm going to push academics. I'm heavy on that. Couple key guys that came over during the summer. Sheridan Jones was big for us. He came over and instantly took on a leadership role, especially of the defense and the back end of the secondary. And we had an offensive guy who pretty much came over, and Avante Lawton, who pretty much came in working. I think there was a lot of expectations and stuff that he probably had to bring to the table based off previous numbers and quarterbacks that have played in the offense. And very, very, very humble kid.
So with that, I mean, a lot of preparation, expectation, but from a player standpoint, I mean, going into this season, what was your mood like, and what was the focus of the team?
The focus of the team, when we came out, everybody was ready to play. So, I mean, the off season we grind hard. We went to G. Conditioning was hard, very hard. Just going through it, we had a lock-in, took all our phones away, and that's what really made us bond. So everybody got together, got to know each other more, just bonding. We had a good team bonding, and we went into the season like just with like ready to go. We had a up and ready to go.
Okay. So you had your first year. You're moving into the second year. You talk about all this hard work. When did you realize that this team could have as much success as it did have?
I think it was actually during camp, just seeing flashes of stuff, and knowing that in order to be a team in the playoffs, you gotta have some depth. So we ended up finding that out in camp, and then I think midway through the season, I mean, we didn't play our best ball in the beginning of the season. And I think once we started to get rolling, everybody pretty much gelling and figuring stuff out after those first couple of games. I kind of felt like it. So I would say mid-season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mark, he talks about mid-season. You guys were 4-1. When did you say, hey, we can take this to the next level?
After we played, Nasma River, that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, we can move this on, because we was down and before the halftime, and after halftime we got it back up. We was fighting, pushing to get the ball back, making plays on defense, getting the ball back to the offense. That's when I knew this season was gonna start rolling, and we can face adversity and stuff like that.
Namson was a great win because the year before they kind of handled you, but then you played Lake Taylor. So what was that like, going up against Lake Taylor, and then after Lake Taylor?
I had a good feeling. Like before the game, everybody was ready to go, and I think people just started Lake Taylor. They was letting them get into our heads and stuff. So people just really, I don't know, but. Going into them, I thought we could beat them and stuff like that. We was ready, game planning, watching film, and we just didn't come out with the win.
Okay. So after this game, what clicked on that defensive end, because you guys went on a heck of a roll. I think you gave up 6 points the rest of the season. So talk about how that spearheaded.
Yeah, I mean. Before that game, it was all that hurricane stuff going on, so I got pushed to having 2 games that week. So game didn't play out like we wanted to Monday. We had to turn around and face another top opponent in the district. That was Booker T at the time. So that quick turnaround, I was surprised about how the guys came back and didn't dwell on it and got ready for the next one. I think that's what kind of got us rolling. Like, all right, you know, next game, next play. After that game, I think that's when people started to take notice of Beasley, of the running back that we have. So the guys started rolling. Our defense started to pick it up after that game, and it just showed. It just showed. I don't really not familiar with the numbers, but those next 5 or 6 games stretch, we were playing very well on both sides of the ball.
Okay. So Mark, you know, this defense turns around. You're a captain. You're a leader. So tell us how that played out for you.
For me, when I took the captain spot, I mean, like, I made sure my teammates and everything was like good, and I made sure everybody was on time. I was always the last one out, and I took the role as like it was a big part of my life, and I tried to make sure like our team was like on the same page on the defense, making sure everybody knew their role, what to do. So everybody, if anybody had questions, they come to me. Like, everybody come to me, and I made sure they're right, make sure they get to know everything.
Okay. Talk about your playoff experience this year, and where it led you.
Our playoff run, we started out versus Warwick. Didn't really know much about them until we watched the film, and they actually had some athletes on their team. Through watching the film, we played them, and our kids were just ready to go. They understood the season before that we played the first round, lost the first round, so they didn't want to go through that again. Then we turned around and played Salem, who was the 2 seed. Tough team. It's always a tough team. They're always going to be a playoff team. Battle, dogfight to the end, both sides of the ball. Luca made the game-winning field goal. Actually, Avante in the offense drove it, I think, about 80 to 90 yards to even get that. Right. So it was a great win to have that tight of a game in the playoffs. I mean, you're going to have to win something like that.
So, Mark, I mean, that Salem game, I mean, the defense had to be accountable play in, play after play. So talk a little bit about, you know,
going into that Salem game. We knew that what they were doing, what they were going to do, but they came out with something different. So the first half, we like took them down, and we like disrupted what they was going to do, and they switched it up on us. So we had to adjust and make sure. I mean, we had to adjust and try to get to see what they started doing. So once we started getting that, we started rolling, and got the ball back on the last stop. It was what? 3rd and 5. It was 3rd and 5. They tried to do a swing route with the bat. They threw it to him. He caught it, and I hit him in the backfield, backed him up 5 more yards. 4th down, they had to kick it to us.
Okay. So a lot of momentum from that game carries you into the big game. You know, Maury's been in the Eastern Regional Final, maybe your senior year, junior year.
Yes.
But now you're going up against one of the better teams in the area, and so, you know, a lot of talk that you didn't have a chance, but a little bit different outcome there. So talk about that Indian River win.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great win for the kids. Pretty much, I was happy for those guys. They were ready for the game. I don't think I saw, you know, anybody afraid, or just the preparation that week was a little bit different. And then the support, to be honest, from like the teachers, the staff, the community, the parents, like
excellent crowd. Yeah,
just amazing support, and just knowing that we were doing it for the city and for the district. And it was a great win. Great team that they had. Have a lot of talent on that team. Some great coaches, but our coaches came prepared. They worked hard that week. Kids were phenomenal in that preparation. They were just ready to go that night.
All right, so that win, you know, propels you into the state tournament, state semifinals. Again, bragging about the Eastern District, the city of Norfolk, you know, getting 2 teams in the state, unprecedented. So you go up against the #1 team in the state, Highland Springs. And so talk a little bit about that. I know the end result wasn't the best, but it was still a heck of a place to be.
Yeah, I mean, sitting back on it now, I'm proud of my team for going up against you know, they had to go up against a better team each week, play the 2 seed, the 1 seed, and they had to play the defending state champs. Guys fought. We came out ready to go. I don't think that none of my guys were afraid or, you know, didn't come out ready to play. A lot of guys played well, made some mistakes. Definitely, and we're going to learn from it, just like we learned from the previous year in the first round of playoffs. We're going to learn from it, and I'm pretty sure with the guys we have coming back, I think I'm only losing maybe 8 seniors or so. With the guys that are coming back, they've seen playoffs 2 years in a row, and they know what it feels like. So I'm pretty sure that my guys that are coming back, the captains, the coaches, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to come back stronger and ready to go.
Okay. So, Mark, you know, again, it didn't end great, but, you know, the legacy that you're leaving this team and for the next team to move forward. So how special does that feel?
I feel like I left a mark on my teammates by like leading them every day in school, on the field, off the field, around. Like, they're always with me. You can ask them. So, boy, I feel like I left a mark on them, a big mark.
So, moving into next year, do you have an opportunity to continue football?
Yes, sir.
And then what are some of the opportunities?
Yes, sir. I'm recently talking to Ferrum, Virginia, North Carolina Wesleyan, Virginia State University, Hampton,
okay,
and Bluefield.
All right, great. Well, sounds like you got some great opportunities, Coach. Again, you know, seniors are special, and you know what you guys did this year. You know, we can't brag enough about you, and I know how passionate of a coach you are, and how passionate your staff is. So we do look for continued success. So we want to thank you for coming down, and again, continued success.
Thank you.
All right. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I have 2 very special guests with me here today. We have Grace Meyer. She is a 6th grader at the Academy of International Studies at Rosemont. And then we have our art teacher, Ms. Kim Barge, and she is a first-year teacher here with us and a grad of Norview High School. Welcome to you both to NPS Now.
Thank you.
Oh, we're glad to have you here. You guys have those beautiful side ponytails. I think I need one today too. But I'm glad you're here. Glad to have you both here. And the superintendent of schools had an opportunity to judge some holiday cards. And yours, Grace, was selected. So we're going to talk about that real quick with your teacher. Tell me about the holiday card contest and what are the guidelines for submissions?
So it was offered to every student in the Norfolk Public School system, and they were looking for a Winter Wonderland picture for the holidays. So we were looking for something that was not particular to any one.
So everybody was trying to have a unique submission. How many kids in your class submitted for this contest?
Around 10 students.
10 students? I understand it was 40 kids, so you had some tough competition there. Wow, so how did it feel, Grace, to win this contest?
It was very crazy to find out I won, and I was also scared because I went to the principal's office, and like any other kid, you're going to be scared when they call you down.
And it was for a good thing, though.
Yeah, she called me in the office. She told me I won.
Oh, so what did you do when she first told you? Did you jump up and down?
Pretty much.
Tell me about the artwork that you submitted. Where were you inspired?
Well, I was inspired because my grandpa, me and him, we used to draw houses on the snow. And it was like a log cabin winter wonderland. It has a moon and a star, the snow falling in the background.
And you had some pretty winter trees.
Yeah.
What did you use to create it?
I used colored pencil and some pen.
Colored pencil, some pens. So that served as your inspiration, the time that you spent with your grandfather drawing pictures.
And I was about 6 years old.
You're about 6 years old. Wow, that's great. So tell us, why do you think Grace's design won the contest?
Well, it's very symmetrical. It's very colorful. It's very appropriate for the guidelines.
What did you like most about her artwork?
I like the colors that she used. And
were you surprised she won?
I was surprised that one of my students won. Yeah.
That's a compliment to you.
It is. It is.
Out of 40 kids. So tell me, Grace, have you ever submitted anything for any art contest before?
No, I've never submitted anything. First time for everything.
Would you do it again?
Oh, definitely.
So did that kind of boost your confidence?
It did.
And inspire you too?
It really did.
Wow.
I'm definitely going to try out for some more art competitions.
Right. So what types of things do you think you did in the classroom to inspire the students with their holiday art contest?
So with what they were requesting, I gave them some ideas about how to go about it from things that I have been successful in the past on using colored pencils, on colored paper.
So what are some things you're teaching them in the classroom to inspire their art?
So using the different elements of art and using color and line and symmetry and balance, the principles.
So is that what helped you, Grace? The things, the concepts you learned in class?
Shading.
And shading.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. See, it's great that she's using her skills that she learned from you in class. As a matter of fact, all your classmates probably did the same thing, so I'm sure their artwork looked great too. So you should be very excited that you won. So how did this art class kind of shape you more into doing this?
Well, like she said, I used the principles of art, shading, colored pencil, colored paper.
How's your teacher in class? Does she excite y'all? Does she make you want to draw? What's some of the things she does?
Well, she'll like encourage us to start drawing, or like she'll start like telling us things to draw, and we'll like get ideas off of that. We'll just want to keep drawing things.
So you must like going to this class.
Oh, definitely.
So do you think you're going to have a career in art?
Maybe. I want to try out for animating and illustrating for Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. That's a great inspiration and aspiration. You're going to create your own cartoon characters?
Yeah.
Wow. We're going to see her name in lights later on. But for now, we're going to see your name on this holiday card for everybody that the superintendent is going to send them to. Well, congratulations to you, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And to your school for this great artwork. Thank you for both coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Great. And we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now. Welcome back to NPS Now. With us today is Gwen Collins. She's the Senior Coordinator for English. And I'm glad to have you back on NPS Now.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about books.
Yes, and we've had several conversations about reading, and also this initiative called 14.2 minutes. Why do you think that it's important for students to read 14.2 minutes every day?
So Read 14.2 is our English office initiative that we it's research-based, and what the 14.2 minutes is that we want our students to read at least 14.2 minutes every single day. Students who do that read over 1 million words a year, which is quite a few words, and they also score in the 80th percentile on standardized reading assessments. And so that's the minimum time we want them to read, but we know that our students can carve out 14 minutes a day to be able to read a good book.
So what are some outstanding reasons why students should read that they or others may not even think about?
Well, something you might not think about is reading actually makes you smarter. The more you read, the more you know. And the other thing is that reading is financially rewarding. Students who, we're looking for our students to leave Norfolk Public Schools with viable career options, and reading will help them get to those goals. It also builds vocabulary for students. It goes back to those 1 million words a year that they're reading. And it also helps you build a moral compass where you become, you empathize with characters, you understand different cultures when you start to read culturally relevant books.
Yeah, and a particular book you and I were talking about, which you're going to talk about later on, is relevant and is culture relevant. But you've mentioned before rights of a reader. What is the rights of a reader?
So the rights of a reader, when we have our students read independently in school or after school, a reader has the right to be able to say, you know what, I don't really like this book. I want to put this on the shelf and try to find another book. That it's okay to say, I've started reading this and I don't want to read it. Readers have the rights to read anywhere that they want to. If they want to read in the cafeteria, on the school bus, you know, different places in the hallway, that you can start to read anywhere that you would like that's comfortable to you. Other rights to readers is that it's a way to escape your life, and you can escape through a book, you can travel different places, and so I think we need to keep those things in mind when our students are picking books of choice, books that they would like to read, that we need to let them have the opportunity to say, you know, no, I don't want to read this book because I don't like it.
And that goes to my next question, and I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of parents may not know that there's rights of a reader,
right,
and what have you. So why is it important to give students choices in their reading choices?
Well, choices are motivating. So when we're in our English block, we have time set aside for students to read independently, and during that time, we need to offer children choice with what they read. It motivates you when you are able to choose what interests you, what books you like, what type of genre you want to read. You're more motivated to actually read that text.
So what are we doing that's fun, that's making reading books more accessible and to our students?
Well, one of the first things, schools K-12 in our district are working to build classroom libraries in classrooms with all different types of things to read. We don't always have to read a book. There's magazines, graphic novels, comic books, different types of books or texts that they can read. There's online reading. And so to offer lots of different opportunities to read different things. We're also talking a lot about books. We have schools that are in their morning announcements, they do a little book commercial every day. We have schools that they're letting kids read anywhere they want in the buildings. Some buildings have courtyards. I've gone to schools and seen kids laying on blankets in the courtyard reading books during their 14.2 minutes. There's nooks and corners of schools where students can sit and get comfortable and enjoy a book. We have schools that are doing one book, one school, where the whole school is reading the same book at the same time, and they're all talking about it. So there's just lots of celebrating books and authors that are going on around our district.
And our schools are making, you know, opportunities for literacy to be fun and accessible, and giving them those opportunities to read and make it comfortable for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, so tell me, what would you tell a frustrated parent who has a student who's just not crazy about reading?
Well, that happens quite often, and the first thing I say is they haven't found the right book yet. And so the parent needs to get them to the library and start to help them look for books that interest them, talk to them about what is an interest of theirs, if it's soccer, if it's science, and start to look for those types of books. Ask their teacher what types of things they see them interested in school during the day. And then there's reading specialists also in our elementary schools that they can talk to get some other ideas of some text for those students to read. But the first thing I would say as a parent is, do not keep your child from reading a book that they want to read. So you want them to have access to something that they're interested in, even if it is, you know, Captain Underpants or there's Dork Diaries. But that, you know, that's fun, and kids love those books. And so as a parent, and I'm a parent as well, where you have to be a little more open to what your child is interested in. But I always say, they haven't found the right book yet.
And you've brought some selections with you today, so share with us what you have.
I have. So this book is The Word Collector by Peter Reynolds, and it's about a boy, and his hobby is collecting words, and it's just a really sweet story about how he goes about this collection and then what he does at the end with his collection. And so going to that 1 million words a year, I love this book because of the vocabulary that it brings in, and it's a fun way to think about some different words that you would read.
And what grade level?
This is kindergarten through 3rd grade, I would say. So very fun book about Jerome, the word collector. And then this book, The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. It is, I would say, 4th grade through middle school, through like 6th or 7th grade. It is actually one of our Battle of the Books books, and it's a great story about an unlikely friendship between an elephant, a baby elephant, and a gorilla, and what happens through their friendship that they have. And so I haven't had anyone tell me that they did not like this book. It's a very heartwarming and touching story. And then the middle school book I brought is Lou, and this is the 4th book in a series by Jason Reynolds. It's called the Track series, and it's about track stars at a middle school and things that happen to them and wanting to be the best track star at their school. Kids, we can't keep this book on our shelves in our schools, and so the thing I like about series books is if a student finds a book that's in a series and they like it, then they can go to the next book, and it just offers them more opportunities to read. And so for this, when you start with the first one in this series, you then end up with 4 books that you can read. And so we found our students love these track series books. And then the last book that I have is definitely for high school, grades 9 and up, and it's The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. And it's definitely a culturally relevant book for our times right now. And our high school teachers, we cannot keep that book on the shelves. The kids are, every time it becomes available, someone grabs it and takes it off the shelf. We even have a couple copies in our office, and we can't keep it on our shelves because everyone's wanting to read the book. And I know people have heard that the movie came out this fall, but I always say the book's better than the movie. So if you've seen the movie, you should probably try out the book.
Yeah, I've seen the movie, and I heard the book is better than the movie. Thank you for sharing these books with us. And now parents know what to grab for their kids over the holiday season. Have them reading 14.2 even when they're on their holiday, their vacation. So I thank you for sharing these books and coming on the show today.
That's right. Thank you so much.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.